Hi everyone, welcome to another Cosmic Crone conversation in the fantastic village of SN Tepe in northern Cyprus with me, Marie.
Me, Tina, at 6:20 in the morning.
Very early, yes, in the morning. We're with the dogs in the garden, as usual. And if you do hear a lot of cockerels, I was going to say something else, a lot of cockerels and everything, it's because we're in a very rural, mountainous place. So we'll get on with today's topic.
Which is?
Clairvoyance. I thought you'd have already known that. It's clairvoyance, yeah. And I've done a little bit of research because, to be honest with you, it's a topic that I think people know about, and they think they know things, but they don't. That's personally from me. I looked up clairvoyance, and it was the French for clear vision. It's an extrasensory perception, a sixth sense, and the word alleged keeps coming up. The alleged clairvoyance, or the alleged situation, because between science, science, they can't support the subject, well, they think. They haven't got evidence. They call it pseudoscience.
Yeah, I mean, it's the ability to sort of see things and sense things beyond our
the realm,
natural 3D world, isn't it? So it's like that, beyond normal perception. So it's something that you can't really prove, is it?
Yeah, it's beliefs and practices, and because sometimes we've gone on about this, about science, that, you know, when they can't find something factual, or they can't find the evidence and put it in numbers or theories, then it might not exist. No offence to the science world, but they need evidence.
Yeah,
but there is evidence.
Yeah, because then it's like, I've had experiences and said things, and you know, you could say it's coincidence.
Yeah.
But there's just certain things, like I've been to a clairvoyant, you know, years ago, and she said, I never knew her, I never met her before, and straight away when I sat down, she said, oh, there's a father figure here, he's a black cab driver, straight away. She never knew nothing about it, and that is just too random for everybody to have a father figure as a black cab driver, and it was in fact my ex's dad who passed. So there wasn't, to me that's proof enough.
Yeah, there was. It's called, and I'll mention pseudoscience. It comes from the Greek roots of pseudo, which means fake.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, is it? No.
I beg to differ on that. We'll come back to that bit. Not clairvoyance.
Oh, but there are fakers, yeah.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah. It says, I just want to go through things if people are not too clear. It's a paranormal ability to see people, events, past, future.
It's not just about seeing dead people.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, there's feelings, facial. Oh, that's the facial expressions about how people read other people when it becomes pseudo. Yeah, well, that's a nice word, we can. Pseudo. Yeah. So I just wanted to have a little bit of, just a tiny bit of history. What did you want to bring to the table?
Well, I've got my own experiences, and for beginners, I've got some exercises that you can do.
Right. So
that I did years ago.
So we'll address them, you know, the guys who are listening.
So with experiences, like years ago, I mentioned it once in one of our other pods, there's a book called Doors to Other Worlds, and that's what got me started.
What was the book again? Sorry.
Doors to Other Worlds, Raymond Buckland. Yeah, it was the book for me that got me on this road, like way back.
Talking of got nothing to do with him, Raymond. But again, we have no mics, so you know, we're doing what we said in our 50th.
Yeah.
You know, is that we're getting on with it and just putting content out that we believe in. So yeah, all the dogs are going to bark at mid-air.
We've got 7 here.
Yeah. Oh, bringing up dogs. Sorry, we'll come back to you. TRNC, Animal Rescue Family.
Oh, you said all that.
I said it all. Yeah, for the first time in 50 episodes. Yeah, you can get in contact with us on Facebook. Also, you can make a donation from PayPal with
SOSDogs2017 at outlook.com.
Yeah, for us to continue the charity. It'll keep going and we'll get lots of things like food and vet bills and rescuing other dogs as well. So put your hand in your pocket and send us some money. Right, your bloke, Raymond.
Right,
Ray.
back to exercises. So the first exercise that I ever did was pretending there was a phone line. You know, your old-fashioned phones.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
when you had wires.
Yeah.
You know, my nan had a trim phone. Do you remember them?
Do you mean the
posh one that went across, the handle went across the
Yeah.
phone with the dial thing?
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember her phone number, it was 9860162. So I used that. So you can use a physical phone, because obviously it doesn't have to be plugged in if you've got an old one, or just imagine it. So you would go through the meditation process of relaxation, 10 minutes, and center yourself. What I do is I unground myself.
How do you unground?
So, when you're grounding, you would imagine, put your feet on the ground and imagine rooting.
Right, the grounding, yeah.
I would do the opposite. I would bring the roots up and disconnect from the earth, but connect with a white light through my body to, fill out and then make myself like a protective egg, I call it. So I would always say, not to let in negative energies, and only positive come through. So every time I started anything, that would be my process. Then the phone one, I dialed my nan's number on an imaginary phone in my head with my eyes closed, and I would physically move my hands, pick it up and say hello. Sometimes nothing, sometimes you'd get something, or just pick up the phone. You don't have to dial the number.
From disconnecting, right, from the earth, how'd you get from saying hello, from that to saying hello? Is there a process? Are you thinking? Are you looking into mid-air? Are you... do you get me? Because
you're in meditation with your eyes closed, and it depends who you want to contact.
Yeah.
If it's obviously it's personal, because I was just doing it for practice on my own.
Yeah.
So I thought of my nan because I knew her number. But you could just pick it up and say, is anybody there? It's just like an imaginary tool to use, isn't it? As a way in. Then, there's other practices like I mentioned to you the other day about staring at a wall, preferably a plain white wall. Doesn't have to be, but you can find, you look for blemishes in a tiny dot or just a centre, and you would try and sort of, where your third eye is, imagine that point and look at the wall, so that when you close your eyes, you're still looking at that point, and it trains you to use your third eye. And I always imagine the eye there on my head and open it. So you physically open your third eye, but you keep looking at that centre point, and that's where you start seeing visions, you start seeing vortexes.
So, wall, a point on the wall, maybe a blemish or just something.
Pick a point, in the centre.
Is there a time frame that you would do that? Do you get me? Is it like stare at it for so
Stare,
many?
yeah.
We're talking about people that may not have ever done it.
Until things start getting blurry and you sort of start feeling detached and your whole body just relaxes, and then you know it's just like a lead weight and you don't want to move. It's like hypnotising yourself probably, isn't it? And then you can close your eyes, but at the same time you can do the whole thing with your eyes open, carry on staring at the wall, and that's another practice you can do where you're staring at the wall, you detach yourself and then you start seeing things in the corner of your eye. Or you might see lights, or you know, you might see vortexes when your eyes are open, because you sort of your focus goes, doesn't it? And then you just, everything around you goes blurry.
Yeah, because of the concentration. That one out the side of your eye. I've had things happen where I haven't been focusing on anything. Maybe it's because of things that I've done, and I'm in a very relaxed state, and all of a sudden I'll see something and I'll move, and sometimes I've got to admit there might have been somebody going past, or the light changed, or there was a reflection in my glasses, or anything like that. But majority of the time, because that's what I do as a tester, like, you know, you go like that and you go, oh, and I quickly go like that, and it is something, because you're sensitive to it.
Yeah.
You can be sensitive to it, but don't dismiss it.
And you get voices, didn't you? Sometimes you get someone calling your name.
Oh God, I had that, didn't I?
Yeah. And that's with your eyes open. With your eyes closed, you'll get different sensations. You know, because you would, like you said, you see faces. I used to. I still do. But that was how...
When I close my eyes,
you know, they're the signs that you are starting to pick up.
I never get that until I'm in a sleep state.
What, the faces?
Yeah, it's like all dark, right? And I try and find out, coming to clairvoyance, I try and look to see if anybody's mouthing anything, because I can't hear.
No, for me it's just faces. Right. And sometimes they're alien.
Oh, right. No, I haven't had that yet. But people come in and out. It's like as if there's a whirl, like, and then a face appears, and then some other face. Thinking, to me, in a sleep state, that I'm being told something, or people are coming to say hello. But we've talked about the wall, right? So where are you going from there?
So these are just all practices you can do every single day. If you really want to learn it properly, these are things that you would do as a daily practice. 10 minutes, you know, just doing them. So there's the phone one, there's the wall one, is having your eyes open and perceiving things, and then closing your eyes to perceive things. There's different ways you can do it.
I would really say keep trying. You know what I mean? Keep trying.
You won't get much first time round. No. You won't. You know, it takes a few goes. I mean, if you're not used to meditating in the first place, you know, you'd have to go to a YouTube channel and find... And there are some good meditation videos.
YouTube. You can read it as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, the book you can read. I never had YouTube years ago. I used to put a CD on of like meditation music with birds singing and stuff.
Yeah.
To get me in the zone, you know, and then meditate. So I would do my protection thing with a light, bring up the roots, you know, and keep breathing in the light and then bring it out, and so I've got protective egg, just so that I'm happy with myself, that I'm not letting in any negative energies. If you're
to protect yourself,
I think it is for me, yeah. But if
why is it important?
Well, because of letting in negative energies, and then they're gonna. So
yeah, I get that, but why is that? What were the negative energies? Have you experienced anything like that? You know, what has it? Was it done? Has it meant that you can't being clairvoyant? You can't get to. Well,
it might just
the person
be
or
in
something,
your placebo. Is it? you know, you might just think, oh, a negative thing's happened to you today, oh, because I didn't do that, because I didn't protect myself, and it's going to play on your head. And if you think that, thank you very much, Elvis. He's scratching my leg.
And all the rest. Yes, I just want to say, like, you know, is there another one? Have you got another one?
What practices?
Yeah.
Oh, if you get the book, it will tell you loads of different ways that you can, you know.
And the book you used
open
was?
Doors to Other Worlds.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
making sure if anybody skipped or
I mean,
come
it was
halfway
like,
through.
I mean, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. Yeah, so, yeah, hard for me to remember. But yeah, nowadays you've got YouTube, haven't you? But I find books are better. Like Meeting Your Spirit Guide is in there, so that you can read it, you know, remember it, what you've got to do, your steps, put the book down and then go away and do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know,
you remember we were already pushing don't have Wi-Fi around you, what?
Yeah.
And you're looking at YouTube all the time.
Yeah, you won't be looking at it, you'd listen to it so you could download.
Now, you understand that we're trying to help people get away from it, although go and watch it. Yeah, of course. It's fantastic channels.
Yeah, I mean, guided meditations, I would download.
That's not, it's not a pig, if you can hear that. We, just because, they've got a new little girl who was, she's been dumped or she got lost, and she looks like a granny. I really support you by saying look at this platform, look at that platform, but I just think sometimes maybe it's good to get away. If you're able to read a book or take in information that way, because we all learn in different ways.
Yeah.
We also learn by people talking to us like this.
Yeah, and take notes.
Yes.
Always say, you know, if you're doing it in bed, because you can do it in bed, you can do it sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
I used to do it, I couldn't do it like that now, but sitting on the floor, you know, with my legs crossed in like a yoga position. I used to do it like that, but I couldn't do that anymore because I can't get down on the floor.
Clairvoyance-A has had a bad press as well, hasn't it? It's like you mentioned the word, is anybody there? You know, and people are taking the mickey.
Well, that's like the spiritual churches. Have you ever been to one?
Yeah, I have, yeah. But I don't know about them taking the mickey, but what it is, remember, one-to-one, you can say things, but in an audience, it is up to perception of what's going on. Because we had said this before, you know, there's a George. Does anybody relate to a George?
And there could be a few.
There could be a few. But what I'm saying is, it's because there's an audience. And some people go to a spiritual church to learn. They're not up there. You know, they ain't famous or anything. And then they go there to hone their craft. It's like, I don't go to church, but I went to the spiritual church because that's the only place I could get support.
Some of them are sort of Christian based, which confuses me. But I went to one in the audience and ended up telling somebody next to me something, and it was driving me bonkers. And when she got to go to the toilet, I stalked her and followed her in and told her what she needed to know, and she took that and said yes. But like when they're on the stage, and they say like you said, you know, is there a George here? How can you prove it? Because you know
How can you prove one-to-one, mate?
Well, this is what we were saying. There's no evidence, but then I've had personal experiences where I do use the tarot, obviously, and that actually helped me start opening up in the first place using the tarot, because you'd sit in there and I did go deep into the meanings and meditating on the cards themselves and talking to them. So that in itself is like clairvoyancy. Yeah. You know, because you're physically, not physically, you know, mentally going into that card and talking to the people.
I'm just saying, I don't want to poo-poo that. I don't, because it's better for me, one-to-one. But I'm just saying, when somebody's there, it is open to ridicule when people are in a crowd. You know, there's a name with begins with R, and he wears a cap.
Yeah.
You know, it's still valid. I believe it's still valid. I'm talking about spiritual churches, the experiences I've had. Talking about experiences I've had. And that people there, they were again homing in on their craft. There was people with who used flowers, images of flowers.
Oh, that's enough. Yeah, they say like, you know, they're giving me a rose, or it's always things like that.
No.
That to me is a bit.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was about people who, when this particular one, was saying, think of a flower, and we'll see if we can get a reading from that. And yeah, it was quite good. It was quite good. But she wasn't on the stage. She come down, and then she could go like that. So that's what I'm saying about homing in. But there has been a lot of comedy that has ridiculed it, isn't there?
Yeah, you're talking about, is it Peter Kay?
Baptiste, yeah. But that's a comedy element.
Yeah, it's
and
brilliant. It
is,
is.
yeah. I sense. I'm not going to say it. You got some more stuff?
Going back to like staring at the wall or meditating, it's sitting there. You know, you said about time, didn't you?
Yeah,
Time
is there a time frame?
And everybody's their own.
They're different, yeah.
You know, it's being sitting in that position long enough to detach, and you'll know when it happens. You'll get that feeling of like, it's really hard to explain that you're totally detached from everything else, but you're still hearing and seeing if your eyes are open. That you're still in the room, but you're not in the room. Sometimes it feels like leaving your body even.
Is it like that thing of being outside your body and looking at yourself?
Yeah, I mean that is coming out of your body, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm explaining it in another way.
Yeah. When I've actually done readings or clairvoyant or not with tarot and that, you know, I did an ex-boyfriend many years ago. He didn't believe in any of it, and that's another thing. Some people tend to block it, and you can't read them anyway. But yeah, he didn't believe in it, and
that's hard, isn't it?
I saw a metal bucket in my head.
Oh yeah.
And it was his nickname in the army.
Bucket. Where would that come from?
Yeah, and I was talking to his dad, and he was all laughy, like smiley, jokey, and then all of a sudden his face just went serious. And I went, "Your dad's here," and then he showed me a bucket, and he went, "Nobody knew that was my name in the army, not even my dad." I said, "Well, he's telling me he knows now." You know, so that was that coincidence?
And I think you shouldn't be afraid to not get anything.
And don't be afraid to say the first instinct. Yeah, your first thing that comes into your head is usually the right one. So don't doubt it. Don't doubt yourself and let it go. Because I used to be so. The thing is, right, when you finish doing what you're doing, you need to ground yourself again. And a lot of times I didn't, and I would be walking around and my head was just totally. I was like out of it like all day long. I wasn't driving. And
you were under that influence still.
Yeah, so I'd maybe pop down the shop and I'd walk past people and you'd see things. You know, I'd see like a number or something, like, I don't know if it was the age they were going to die.
So you were heightened, weren't you? You were sensitive to it.
Yeah, and it was like, whoa, and I'd want to tell someone, you know, but stopping someone in the street and say, "Excuse me," you know. Oh,
well, they do, don't they? Some of these ones that have got shows.
I've just got this blah, blah,
Somebody
blah.
goes to get a bagel and they go, "Excuse me, I just wanted to come over and talk to you." Boundaries, respect. And it's not asking somebody's...
Don't believe in it.
Yeah, and some people's privacy.
Yeah, and offended. They could be offended. So I never used to. But now, obviously, I do close myself down and reroute myself, especially when you're driving.
And if you are with somebody, their consent. I think it's really.
Yeah,
I
they
think it's
should want
really.
to, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
It is a very touchy subject if someone's lost someone. You know, I had a neighbour years ago, and they lost someone, and she was looking for something, and I just wanted to say to her, you know, it's in the wardrobe, there. But because she was so against everything like that, I never did. And I don't know whether she found it or not, you know, but she obviously cleared out the house and moved on, so maybe she did, I don't know. But
I was trying to do exercises. Well, I was doing exercises sometime last year, about over 10 months. I'm sorry I'm looking down. It's because the table's over there. But can I tell you about like an experience I had?
you do, yeah.
Yeah, do that. Just, I grounded myself. I wasn't thinking about the subject I'm going to come up with. I was very open. Actually, I was feeling a bit quite down at the time, so I seemed to become more open. Because mental health can play a part in clairvoyance, in the sense of it can get confusing.
Yeah, and emotions as well. It does make you very emotional, which is why you need to ground yourself afterwards.
Very important,
Yeah.
and that's why I keep making when we're talking. I want Tina to repeat sometimes what you've said, so it makes sure that is an important point. So about 10 months ago, I was really practicing hard, let's say, you know what I mean, trying to get myself honed in on things that I feel, and experiment with different ways of grounding and things like that. And it was about 10 months ago, and I'm going to read what I wrote yesterday, because I never wrote it down. I never wrote it down. It was so emotional that I couldn't, but I implore you, please do, because I'll be writing this in my grimoire.
Yeah.
I will. So I'll start off with, I wrote this down. It's like a statement. I predicted a life-changing situation 10 months ago, I think even before. But I didn't see details. I couldn't see detail. You know, I'll carry on. I just knew a certain person was going to change many people's lives because of their stupidity and lack of feeling for others. That's how I was feeling. I knew it would. This is the point. You see, I said, that's it. Decisions had to be made, which I didn't want to make, and it was really upsetting me. It's like playing as a film, and I was feeling it. You know, when you're watching a film, and you start getting emotional, and you feel the characters. That's what it was, and I didn't want to make this decision, but I had to help others. And I would have to sacrifice my happiness to enable others to do what they wanted to do in life. And I knew it would break my heart. Look, I'm getting emotional now. Oh, I knew it would break my heart and devastate me like it has. Right? I'm glad I shared how I was feeling with, I think it was you, wasn't it? Did I say somebody's going to do something?
You did, yes.
I did. Yeah. Didn't I, last year?
Yeah.
Leaving names out.
Yeah.
And I said, they are going to F my life up.
And what was the time frame, the gap, from when you had that to when it happened?
I reckon between 10 to 12
months.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it was, hang on.
It's like a slow burner. But
yeah,
it was,
I knew it.
You know, things progressing over time. It wasn't just a slap bang event. It was just things unfolding as you went along in life.
Yeah, I mean,
That it became more and more apparent that this end thing was going to.
so when you were
happen.
say you're in the zone and you're reading it for somebody else, can you imagine if I had to tell somebody that?
I've had
Because
I mean,
I'm upset now, you
yeah.
know. Technical problems ago, we had to stop and things like that. So yeah, you were talking about the mirror. That was important. Yeah.
Yeah, the mirror. That's another thing you can practice when you close your eyes and go into meditation. Imagine looking at yourself in a mirror. So me trying to connect to my mum, I look in the mirror now and I think, oh my God, I look like my mum.
She does.
You know.
Same pictures.
Yeah, so because my hair's short and everything. So when I look in the mirror at myself, I see my mum, and that didn't click with me. But I looked in the mirror with my eyes closed, you know, and I'm looking at myself, because that's the practice that you do. You're looking at yourself. Then I thought, hang on, that's my mum.
It's really
Yeah, yeah. And there was no talking or anything, but it was just, oh, got that
You felt that connection.
Yeah, you know, sometimes as well, it's like a radio, tuning into a radio.
You said
That's
that,
how I
didn't you?
Yeah.
We did a podcast on spirit boxes way back, and
Debunked.
debunked it really.
Yeah,
Yeah. But that's what you reminded me of.
Yeah, but that's what it's like tuning in. That's why it's so hard. You know, some people, skeptics, will say, "Oh, why can't you just hear what they're saying and talk normal?"
Yeah.
Well, it's like getting a pirate radio station or trying to tune in.
Or medium wave,
Yeah.
the old,
Yeah.
and then going, yeah.
You don't. You get it in pictures. You might get voices.
I get scenario. When I say scenario, I see it sometimes in like a film or a TV program, if you want.
Like a clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's visual. Yeah.
Yeah, visual. And I also see people's movements.
You
So
get
you
smells.
smells. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get. I can sometimes meet people and I can feel, but I see that whoever they're with, and I don't mean as a partner. I mean, if they're in a group, I can pick somebody out and go, they're going to be bad news. I don't know how else to put it. Or they're going to cause problems. Or they're not what you think they are. And the amount of times over the years, because I didn't home in any of the skills, any of the feelings, how to interpret, people have said that, like, oh, I'm what's the word, like, grumpy, or, you know, you never like anybody, you don't want anybody in here. And I'm thinking, yeah, because after a while they've proved, you know, I didn't want to turn around and go, I told you. Because nobody's got, oh, well, just coincidence. But going back, I can see people have spoken to me and said, I was in this situation, I'd like to know if this situation is going to change, or how am I going to get out of it. Sometimes I see visual that they are moving away, or they've done something else. You know, it really rings true with me, and things that you've taught me. There's things that I did throughout the years before I met Tina, I didn't know I was doing it. You know, so maybe you're having feelings that, you know, empathic feelings, or you're having feelings and that you just can't understand. Maybe it's time to do some research. Maybe it's time to go to a local spiritual church. Maybe it's time to talk to people who are like-minded, research. I repeat this a lot because I was on my own with these feelings.
I was years ago.
And I didn't know what to
turn to.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. And thanks to Anne, our Anne, and she took me to the spiritual church. She went, just come along, see how you feel. And thanks to her, I understood. That's why I will defend them, people who go there, because it's where you learn. I didn't go like for months. I went for weeks, a few weeks. Not saying I learnt everything, but it gave me the step up.
There are egotistical fakers, obviously.
In everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to bring to the table, just about making sure that there's we're talking about clairvoyance and practices that you could
just
do?
protecting yourself and just read up about it in all different books and watch loads of stuff.
And if I hadn't protected myself, I know I got emotional.
Some people say it's evil, don't they?
Yeah.
But no, if you're a positive person and you've got a positive outlook on life, it's fine. You're not going to attract anything negative.
No.
Unless you are an evil, dark, negative person, you know.
And I think this situation for me, I'm living it at the moment, so it's a bit more remote, and it was personal to me.
Yeah.
I think if it was for somebody else, I'd have a bit of detachment.
A lot of people, not that I know personally, but I know of a lot of people that take drugs to get to that point, and I've never ever touched drugs. I've never even smoked a fag.
No.
Right? So yeah, now and then I've had alcohol and I've seen things. My friend, she'd come back from Spain, I think it was, and we was out partying, you know, and sat down and yes, I was drunk. And I just started talking. It wasn't a session that someone had asked me to do. I was just in the car and I said, "Oh, I can see her boyfriend, whoever it was at the time, he's got two big swords across his back, like two big samurai sword things or whatever they were." And she went, "Yeah." She said, "We brought them back in his backpack from the airport, and they took them off us because they were banged."
Oh, of course, yeah.
But it was just something. I just saw it and I just said it. Because I was drunk anyway, I just come straight out with it.
I think
it's just things like that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't have to be, that's Elvis, you don't have to be pure and, you know, vegan, nothing wrong with that.
No.
You know what I mean? But you don't have to be this archetypal, you know, like
no,
with
I was a normal,
on.
I used to eat meat, I don't eat really meat now, but them days...
Basically, you don't have to look like a hippie, live like a hippie, live in the forest.
No.
You could be, I always say, an urban witch or an urban...
Then.
Yeah.
But I lived in a very historical place of Whitechapel and there was a lot going on there. But I was drawn there and that's another story.
So yeah, you could be anywhere, wherever you are, whatever walk of life. From any continent, anywhere. If you feel it, do it. If you feel that you are, you know, basically someone who can feel these things, and it is it can be upsetting.
Yeah.
It can be upsetting. I'll keep saying
emotional.
this. Yeah. So make sure you do your research. You may have to go through these things, lessons to learn.
And you will go through stages of like, am I mad? And
oh yeah,
seeing things. And
yeah, I was on antidepressant tablets once. I'll say that, and it was affecting me. But that's my personal journey and all that, because I thought I was going bonkers. Yeah, and I am. And I have mental health issues, so I have to decipher what's going on, how my brain is working. So that's me personally, but you know what I mean? For you out there, good luck. Have a look at Clairvoyance-A, have a look at other things that are attached to it, and we wish you well. If there's, you know, hopefully we give you some exercises and some personal experiences that, you know, inspire you. Yeah, is there anything you want to say before we go?
No, have a good day.
Yeah, so it's goodbye from me.
It's early in the morning for us, it's goodbye from me too now.
Yeah,
it's starting to get hot now.
I am.
Yeah,
got no aircon.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.